In this edition of Test Drive, it's my first race in the 410 sprint car at Eldora Speedway. Let's check it out. Okay, here we go. Start on the pole. This is a open race, fun race. So no iRating, no safety rating. Whoops. A little too much wheelie action there, which messes me up and lets everybody go by.
Hold your line. Clear outside, car outside. You're on the bottom.
But then just smash the throttle. Hopefully you don't mind. I had not intended on recording this race, but I decided that it was good enough. This is kind of like a teaching tool that I happened to hit record at the last second. So this is post commentary. Again, hopefully everybody is okay with that. And right now, the reason I wanted to kind of demonstrate what this does is the middle, right where the black is, the dark part of the track, that's very, very slick. So this is a great way to show off unusual lines you'll take in dirt racing. So I qualified on the bottom like I'm running now, because the top and the bottom seem just to be just a little faster. And as you can see, most people are struggling. Typically, right now it appears to be, as you can see, my right rear gets into slick stuff. That typically appears to be just not carrying enough momentum and then stabbing the throttle. As you can see, a mix of throttle and brake to keep the car nice and planted and smooth, keeping the suspension loaded. And most people don't want to run down here when it's slick like this. Oop. Some action up in front of us there. It is hard when the track is slick to run on the bottom. It takes a lot of discipline, lots of throttle control, keeping the car loaded. Almost got killed by that guy. Well, there's another one. I tightened the car up just a little bit, which just means, you know, taking out a little bit of stagger, a couple other adjustments. And as you can see, up at the top there, he doesn't particularly care for this much, but actually, this track is awesome. I mean, it's cool to be hammered down flat out all the time, but this really challenges you as a driver. And I just enjoy the dynamic. It is a random state that they seem to be starting in. So meaning that sometimes the track starts out in a completely tacky state, where you can just be full throttle all the time, and then you get something like this. The gentleman that had made a comment up there earlier was stating that this is the slickest he had ever seen it so far in the races that he had done here. So again, we don't have to worry about like iRating or safety rating, although I kind of wish at some point the license that I have is not high enough to get me into the bigger horsepower cars. So I did win my first 305 race, but that track was pretty well tacky, very little wear. And it's dependent on, it seems to be, time of day seems to, just like in real life, make a difference. Also, how many cars are on the track, where everybody's running, and then again, it's a random state that it happens in. So there's a lot of variables, and it makes it a semi-new experience every time we jump in. Oh, by the way, this is 35 laps. You can see second place starter Christopher, he's still running second. And right now, you know, I have to kind of check up whenever I'm coming up to lap a car right now, because to nobody's fault, they're struggling a little bit to get the handling of the car. Don't run in that black part of the track if at all possible. You'll see me hit it every once in a while, and you can see actually it's starting to move down coming off of turn 4. which is making it more and more difficult for me to keep that line. And it's hard because most people, you know, it's a very unnerving feeling trying to commit with the car to run up at the high side. So most people are trying to run in that slick part of the track, and that's actually, see, the guy just ran right across it, slides back up into it, and that makes it really, really difficult. See, we got back in the slick there, but just working the throttle to keep the car underneath me. You hit that stuff, if you know you're going to hit it, just roll out of the throttle a bit. Again, you can see me use the brake getting into the corner. That keeps the car down and loaded. That just means the suspension is working the way it's supposed to be working. And then I have an idea, well, let's try the outside. So now this is what I'm talking about, hunting the moisture, finding unusual lines. Don't be afraid to try something and give it a chance to work. You can see we picked up a 10th just by going up high. And this is full committal on the outside. There is no in between. See, we picked up almost another 10th there. So you can see just changing my line, because I just couldn't get off the bottom in turn 4 very well. I think most people have either, we did have 15 cars at one point. I think most people have crashed out or given up at this stage, but kudos to those that have kept running, because it is not easy. But I really, really like a track like this. It really showcases, you know, car setup, car control, and hopefully these people stick with it. It's just going to take time, and if you're new to this, you know, don't get so frustrated. The major offender that I've seen people do so far is not hold their line when somebody else faster is coming. Just roll out of the throttle, just make the turn, let them go by, and then get back on it. Another thing I had happen in the 305 race that I won, there were people backing up. Whoa! Almost died. There were people backing up when traffic was coming. Really pay attention to the relative. You know, I would prefer not to use the virtual mirror, but right now that seems to be the only way to kind of get everything to work, I guess, as far as kind of keeping aware of where everybody else is on the track, because I don't feel like my positional audio. I've got really nice headphones, and I just have a hard time hearing the other cars. And in the sprint car, in real life, you can hear them before they even get to you. So you know, it is what it is. Not a big deal to me. You know, there's no virtual mirrors in sports cars or anything else. So I don't find that an issue. Thanks to Justin there, staying out of the way. And made a mistake just getting the... Again, if you know you're going to hit that slick spot, roll out of the throttle. Two other things to remember. Map your tear off, and also map your wing slider. So, wing slider means that that top wing will slide forward or backward, which changes the pitch and angle. So if the car is not steering like you want it to, slide the wing forward. If it's steering too much, getting too sideways, slide the wing backwards. Have that, if you can, mapped on your wheel or like a button box nearby, because it is a useful tool. And we're coming to the end of the race. Had a little too much fuel in it. I didn't know how this was going to go as far as burning up fuel. It seems like you can get about a lap and a half to a lap and a third out of a gallon. 30 gallons in there. There's our fireworks. Always take an extra lap here just to make sure.
That's one, Billy.
And yeah, put that right rear against that dark stuff on the outside if you're going to go up there. And yeah, hopefully you have some fun with this. 410s are not easy. On a hooked up track they're easy, but on a slick track like this, that is not the easiest thing to get the hang of. And with that said, hopefully you enjoyed kind of a tutorial here on how to get around Eldora when the track's slick. If you enjoyed this, please click that like button. For all the latest in sim racing news, hit up isrtv.com. You can follow me on Twitter if you like at strange_Billy. Thanks so much for watching this edition of Test Drive, and I'll catch you next time.